Welcome back to Sunday Night in America. The Charlie Daniels Band had a hit song in 1979 titled "The Devil Went Down to Georgia." I will not sing it for you because I don't want to be fired or fined by the FCC, but it went something like this. The devil went down to Georgia. He was looking for a soul to steal. He was in a bind because he was way behind and he was willing to make a deal. I thought about that song this week. Joe Biden went to Georgia because he's in a bind too. He's had a rough 6 months. The feckless withdrawal from Afghanistan is a stain on the reputation of this country. We were told Biden was the most experienced president ever in matters of foreign policy, but he left American soldiers vulnerable, left the American military equipment in the hands of enemies, left behind those who helped our country, and then his administration fired a drone into the wrong car, killing innocent children. That's a bad decade, but he managed to pull all of that off in about a month. The border is a disaster. COVID continues to ravage the country. Inflation is hitting historic highs. The supply chain is damaged. Schools are closed, but the prisons are open. History is tough on presidents in midterms, but Cleo will be especially hard on this president. Biden is poised to lose the House and the Senate. He never had a mandate, just a chance to lead a divided country, and he squandered that. Less than 1 year removed from his inaugural address, wherein he talked about unity to the everlasting delight of editorial boards across the country, this president is dividing the country again and using race and voting. It's not hard to vote in Georgia. It's actually pretty easy. It's so easy, Biden won in Georgia, along with 2 Democrat candidates for Senate, which is why it is so very hard to understand why he would want to denigrate one of the few southern states he actually has a chance to win. But he did, and he used deliberate misinformation to do it. Is it asking too much to show an ID to vote? I mean, we show an ID to do many things, including gain access to other constitutional rights. And even though Biden knows he's wrong, he continues to repeat the lie that you have to stand in the voting line without water. You can have all the water you want. You just can't get it from people who are trying to influence your vote while you are standing in line. And now Biden wants to change the Senate rules so he can federalize elections. He says voting rights are so important, the rules of the Senate must be changed. What about the judges who preside over voting rights cases? They're important too, aren't they? Why not change the rules for judges? What about the U.S. attorneys and the FBI agents who enforce these laws? I mean, what's the use in having laws if they're not enforced? So let's change the Senate rules for U.S. attorneys and FBI directors too. And you need money to enforce and prosecute voting laws, so let's change the rules for budget and appropriations while we're at it. Biden traveled south to talk about what he considers anti-democratic actions. It's actually a much shorter trip to New York, which is where he should have gone. New York is home to a brand new prosecutor who by email or office memo has decided to change the law. He's deciding which laws will be enforced and which ones won't be. And what could possibly be more anti-democratic than the opinion of one person overcoming the will of a legislative body? The media loves the word anti-democratic. They don't like red states changing election laws. Those are all bad because the media claims to believe in the power and sanctity of your vote. But they have no problem with a district attorney negating your vote with a memo or an office-wide email, and that's exactly what's happening. If you are looking for a textbook definition for the word anti-democratic, allowing one person to substitute his or her will for that of the people as expressed in a duly enacted law is a pretty good place to start. So the next time President Biden decides to travel to highlight his notion of anti-democratic actions, he should go to New York, not Georgia, and take the devil with you. I hear he can now vote in New York, even if he's not a citizen.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.